What a day. Just what a day. Wow. I worked so much, it was ridiculous. And then I wanted to do this video for you guys, and I just couldn't get it done. Like, I tried to record multiple times, and no matter what I did, it just would not work. Alright, so we're going to put the bike in, and then we're going to talk about this LiveWire situation. I want to give you some tips, not tips, more some thoughts that I'm thinking about. So let me put the bike in first. Wow. I just talked for like 10 minutes and my camera was not recording. Here we go again. Here's the thing that I wanted to mention. This bike is insane. It's $27,000. Correction. Let me go back to it. $29,799, as low as $418 a month. And you know what? You know what else you could get for that price? A Road Glide Ultra, most likely. Again, insane. And when I heard the news about the LiveWire, a lot of guys are talking about it here in the community. Essentially, what I'm listening or what I'm hearing from some of the guys in the community is that they're going to go into their own company, something like LiveWire One or something like that. And when I heard that, the first thing that I thought to myself was like, well, Harley's going to get rid of them. They're going to put them in a different company. They're potentially going to go in bankruptcy. And that's it, because this bike was a failure. Now, that obviously, that's my opinion. You share your opinions down below. But that's what I thought. The first thing I thought was that, right? So, again, this bike was a failure because a couple things that I wanted to mention. And the first one is going to be something that everyone said is the price. Again, $29,799. Who has that kind of money? Really, the regular guy is trying to pay mortgage, is trying to pay, you know, for your kids to eat, for your kids to go to school and things like that. That is just a lot of money. So you have a new bike that is a lot of money that people can't afford, right? And don't get me started with Harley prices. They're ridiculous. They're a lot. But obviously something new that really doesn't represent the Harley owner. And I'm going to talk about that too. That's kind of like my second step. But when I think about a Harley owner, I think about a guy that, you know, rides a street glide, an electric guy, a road glide, a bagger, you know, a road king, a deluxe, you know, heritage. Those are really traditional motorcycles, a fat boy. That's kind of what they like. And then this thing comes around that doesn't really look like a Harley, doesn't look like anything, kind of like jumping into the new market or into a new, I guess, into a new customer kind of thing. And again, it's $30,000. Who can afford that? So in theory, the guys that can potentially get that, because it's kind of like new technology, will be new guys or younger generation, if you want to put it that way. So maybe the guys in the 20s, early 20s and things like that, you know, they kind of dig this generation. Because me, you know, I kind of like my gasoline and I kind of like making noises. But the new people that are worried about electrical and all that stuff, God bless them. Maybe he wants to get into that kind of technology. But again, $30,000. He could potentially not afford that. We all know that typically guys that spend a lot of money on motorcycles are guys that have been riding for many, many years, and guys that typically are older because they have the extra income to spend on the motorcycles, right? So again, you know, you have this motorcycle that is new to the market that does not represent Harley in any kind of way. You know, it doesn't look any or doesn't follow any of the traditions that Harley guys have, you know. Again, street glides or road glides, you know, road kings, heritage, deluxe, bikes that are being really iconic and people love. You put this new bike that looks completely different and then you market at $30,000. Obviously, no one was going to buy this. And there is no, to me, there is no surprise that they're still sitting in dealerships and no one gets them. They're way too expensive and they don't look like a Harley. So I really don't know who was the guy who did the research or marketing campaign on this thing. They tried to push it. They tried to give it to YouTubers so they could ride him. They tried to promote as much as they can, but they really missed the mark on this one. They really didn't understood what the Harley owner wants. You know, some of the guys that have been riding motorcycles for a long time, they wanted specific bikes, you know. Again, that's just my opinion. You know what? They come out with this electric bike that really is not doing anything, but then they get rid of the Deluxe, that is one of the most iconic bikes ever. So I kind of think that they're putting motorcycles out there, kind of like, you know, throwing something in the wall to see what stick, throwing, you know, wet paper in the wall to see if it's going to stick, and then go for it. When in all reality, they could just do something different. So I'm not surprised that this LiveWire didn't make it. I'm not surprised they're getting rid of it because, you know, it really does not represent the Harley owner. Now, this right here represents the Harley owner. Man, I love my Road King. Those are my thoughts. What do you guys think? Put comments down below. And as always, God is in control.